Bacon to Beans.
Well, hello bean sprouts and welcome back. This is from Bacon to Beans. Here with me as always, our co-host Theo.
Hello guys.
And Erica.
Hello bean sprouts.
And your host, Janine. Hey guys. So we definitely want to start off by mentioning a little fun fact that we are going to be releasing Erica's first cruelty-free makeup tutorial video. This is going to be so amazing, guys. Erica, why don't you tell us a little bit more about it?
So the video basically is just my makeup routine, all cruelty-free products. I just wanted to show you guys how I apply it, what products I use, and yeah, that's about it. They're amazing products. You don't need to buy makeup that isn't cruelty-free. It's 2018, guys. We can have cruelty-free makeup that is better than the other kinds.
Much better. And for those of you who don't know and have probably heard about, what is cruelty-free makeup? I don't understand. Well, a lot of makeup brands, not just makeup brands, but any brand out there can be non-cruelty-free, meaning that in their laboratories to make their product safe, they test it on animals. They test it on beagles. Those are dogs. They test it on monkeys. They test it on bunnies mainly because they have such sensitive skin. And it's actually really quite hideous and terrible. It's honestly just so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary, and the fact that now we're getting on the bandwagon where there's so many brands of makeup that are not just cruelty-free but amazing in their product, and they don't need to hurt animals to do it. So why spend your money on these makeup brands that torture animals? Spend your money on a brand that's going to be amazing for your skin and helps animals.
I feel like a lot of people don't think about where they're getting their makeup, and I see a lot of makeup artists on YouTube and on Instagram promoting these products mainly because they get them for free. And in this day and age, we need to start thinking and considering the lives of animals and
beings, sentient beings that feel pain just as badly as we do. Think about when you get mascara in your eye or eyeliner in your eye.
Yeah, that's a fucking bitch.
And that like sucks. Okay,
minimal.
That's minimal. And now
imagine
imagine that like 10 times folds, and that's what they're doing to these animals. Like, why? Why? Get over yourselves and get on the cruelty-free bandwagon. And Erica's here to help you do it.
Yes.
And show you how to use it and show you the best brands to buy.
Exactly. And everyone, if we keep supporting makeup artists that are using these products, they're getting paid for it. You are not getting paid to buy these products, so don't buy them.
Don't support it, guys.
And don't spend your money on it, honestly. And the more and more we join up and buy these cruelty-free brands means we're getting one step closer to never having to test on animals again.
Yeah, and did you guys hear that Canada just made it illegal to test on animals?
No way.
Yes, I actually just saw it today on
amazing.
Instagram, and it made me so happy because that's just one step forward and definitely towards the right
Baby
direction.
steps, but we are getting there.
Yes.
Slowly but surely.
Did you want to explain the difference between cruelty-free and vegan makeup?
Well, yeah, you take it over.
Okay.
Yo.
Well, cruelty-free is just what we kind of went over, not testing on animals, not harming any animals in the process. Vegan is not using any animal byproducts in the actual ingredients themselves, because sometimes there can be certain animal byproducts that will make it not vegan, but they may not test on animals, so it's still cruelty-free.
Exactly.
So there's definitely is a difference.
Yeah, there's definitely a very big difference. And it's not like you're going to read the ingredient list and see, oh, there's whale lard in this.
Exactly.
Which is one of the ingredients. It's just named differently. So on our website, Eric and I will be posting a list of cruelty-free products and also the products that they have that are vegan.
Yes.
But a simple Google search, Google it, will let you know if they are cruelty-free and if they are vegan. And I also want to add that some brands, although they are cruelty-free, they sell in China. And if they sell in China, China is mandated to test on animals. So therefore, not really cruelty-free.
It kind of null and void.
Yeah.
You know, if they do sell in China,
Gotta watch out for that.
they have to test on animals. Not that they test on animals in the United States, but they're testing on animals in China. Really, what's the difference? You're still testing on animals. So definitely, and we'll be posting that for you guys. Also, there's apps. There's cruelty-free apps. There's the bunny-free app, and it's really easy to use. You literally just scan the product, like take a picture of it, and it'll tell you if it's cruelty-free or not, which is pretty awesome.
PETA's also a good source.
Oh yeah, PETA, obviously. They're definitely a great source too. But definitely stay on the lookout, and we'll be posting on our Instagram and our Facebook page and our website, frombacontobeans.com, about our upcoming makeup tutorial by Erica.
Check it out.
Stay tuned, guys. All right, so let's move on into our next topic. So we're kind of moving into the next phase of our series here of the barriers of going plant-based. And we know we all have these barriers. We've all had to face them, or are facing them, or are thinking about facing them. So next is a really big topic: cheese. Cheese! It's always such a huge thing. I mean, so many,
It's the biggest.
including
Definitely.
Erica.
I eat cheese, and I love it. I can't
Definitely.
deny it. So
She can't deny it, you know.
I'm here to
and
be the voice of cheese.
We still love her just as
Thanks,
which means we still love all of you guys out there that
Yeah.
still eat cheese. But we also love the cows.
And we're gonna bring some light into.
Let's shed some light on
why.
the subject. Okay. Do we need cheese in our diet? Is it healthy?
Does it have protein? Good protein?
It has protein, but guess what it has more of? You should know this, Fiel. We learned it in school. Saturated fats.
Yes. Saturated fat
That's what
and
cheese is mainly. It is technically a protein source. There are some complete amino acids and essential amino acids in cheese, but it's a majority saturated fat. It's 7.7% of total solid fat intake a day if you're eating any source of cheese. So that's one aspect of it. And remember, guys, saturated fats are the fats that you always want to stay away from. Two major fats that you want to stay away from are saturated fats and trans fats. Those are going to be the fats that contribute to cardiovascular disease, to hypertension, to diabetes, all that bad stuff.
Weight
you
gain.
don't want.
Definitely weight gain. And that brings us into our next subject about cheese. Low fat cheese. There's a lot of these products out now, low fat cheese, all this type. Okay, let's bring it back to the basics here. Let's break it down for you guys. Cheese comes from dairy. Dairy comes from a cow. A cow that's 300 pounds. The milk of a cow is meant for a baby calf, and this milk is meant to transform the baby calf into a 300-pound cow. So when you ask, if I eat low-fat cheese, is this going to help me lose weight? I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to burst your bubble right now, but I'm not sorry. It's not.
But what about small amounts of cheese? Because I've read that cheese does have protein in it. It has calcium. Is a healthy balance of cheese appropriate? Because I'm not 300 pounds and I eat cheese, but I don't overdo it.
Right.
Okay.
That's a good point.
So what's overdoing cheese then? Like how let's ask you, Erica, how much cheese do you think
You consume.
you
like, a
consume?
day.
Like, in
I think per
cup
week
wise.
I consume cheese. I consume about maybe, it's not a lot, honestly. I consume maybe 1 to 2 cups of cheese a week.
That's good. That's
All right, so that's not a lot. That's not a
bad.
lot. But remember where are you getting your cheese from, though? That's another question. Because remember that in the dairy industry, the FDA and the USDA, there's regulations, yes, against hormones, but remember that 70% of the antibiotics that are distributed amongst the United States are used in animal feed. And that is going into the animals that you are consuming and consuming their byproducts, meaning milk as well. So you have to remember that if you're not buying organic cheese, then you're also consuming all of these crazy hormones, crazy antibiotics, crazy pesticides and insecticides that have been digested by these animals in their feed and are now being metabolized into the milk itself. So a lot of times that's why it's been linked or correlated to acne, to, you know, breakouts in your skin or hormonal changes. Do you think you experience some of that, Erica?
I definitely do. I have definitely suffered from acne, and I am quite hormonal, I have to tell you that.
Yes, I know, first hands-on experience here.
So you're saying, like, I go to Publix. The main cheese I buy, the brand is Boar's Head. You know, that brand, probably not organic. I don't
Definitely
really
not
check.
organic.
So they're putting, you mentioned pesticides.
Pesticides, insecticides, you know, hormones, the hormones that come from antibiotics, and also that. Oh,
Well,
you talk about that, Vio. I hate talking about that part of it, but it's so true.
Okay, so the dairy industry is allowed to put a certain amount of pus into milk, dairy, therefore cheese.
Okay, do we all remember what pus is? Remember when you pop a pimple, that white stuff that comes out, that is pus. It's all the same around. We're all animals here. The pus that is in the udders of cows is also the same exact pus, which technically, if you want to say what it actually is white blood cells.
Sure.
That we also have as well.
Yes.
So it's the same. This is what pus is.
So you're basically eating your pimple?
Hey, I love popping pimples.
Erica, I'm done with you.
You just reached a whole new level. I can't.
No,
But I mean, you like popping your pimples. Do you like eating your pimples?
Yeah,
too?
you know, I have not tried eating pimples before.
That's gonna be something totally new.
Yeah. Ugh.
it is
I'm a little
thing,
grossed
though.
out.
So
honestly.
remember, yeah, it's a gruesome process. I mean, these cows are stuck on these machines all day, and the udders get sore, they get infected, and it's just natural. It's a natural process that the milk generated will contain some amount of pus in it, and the FDA has now had to regulate it to the point where it can only be sold if it is under a certain threshold. And I'm not exactly 100% sure what that threshold is of the cc's that are allowed in it, but I honestly remember learning it in microbiology class.
We did. We learned about it.
Yeah, and we
Microbiome.
actually we did like an experiment on it, and it was quite gruesome and disgusting, honestly. But that's what you're eating when you eat any type of dairy product. In any dairy, you're gonna have some pus cells in it. That's just a fact. So keep that in mind as well. Maybe that'll deter you from, you know, eating so much cheese. But remember that it's honestly not our fault that we love cheese so much.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's
I just love it. Like, it's so good. I love some Gouda with some honey on it and some white wine. Ugh,
Trust me, we all
it's
love
delicious.
it. We
But
all
I
love
honestly,
it.
when I'm eating it, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's
The
like
satisfaction.
something in it that is like just popping my brain cells and just like
Wow.
satisfaction. It's
Now
like,
that you mention
Well,
that.
yes, that is crazy that you mentioned that, Erica, because you're absolutely right. That's what happens. So there is a component in cheese that's called casomorphins. I don't know if you guys have all heard about this, but this is a component that you remember that cheese or a dairy product is made up of casein. That's the primary protein. There's two proteins in milk, it's casein and whey. Casein is the majority of the protein source. And they also have these casomorphines in it. If you break down casomorphines, it's casein and morphine. Everyone knows what morphine is. That's a narcotic that is addictive. So these casomorphines that are in cheese can actually, they attach to your brain receptors the same exact way that heroin or narcotics do.
Yes.
And that is why we get addicted to cheese.
Yes.
It's
an addictive.
Lights up our brain like crazy and just says, oh my God, this is amazing. This
Jenny,
is great.
is it just the cheese or is it dairy? Because I also feel addicted to chocolate.
All
both,
dairy, all of dairy is going to have casomorphines. Morphins, I'm sorry. All of the dairy products that you eat are going to contain it. And I really truly believe that this is one of the reasons why America itself, us as a whole, have such a huge addiction to it.
Now, are casomorphins... Casomorphins.
Yep.
Is that a natural compound that's in the cheese, or is that something that's added to the cheese
No.
in the process of making it?
Okay, the casomorphins are a natural source in dairy. It's in the milk. So, I mean, think about it. When we're also breastfeeding as females, when we want our child to be kind of addicted to our milk, that is going to be their only source of food. So it's the same thing when cows are now, you know, making the milk for their baby calf, because this is going to be the only source of food for the baby calf. At least it should be. Now, that's not the case with the dairy industry. However, unfortunately it's not. But now these casomorphins have now been transferred into all of the human dairy products that we have, that we consume as humans. Sorry.
Right.
Does that make sense? I'm trying to like make it as
I get what you're saying.
the most common sense as possible, but it's got, like, think of it as it's just a natural, it's totally natural. It's not that it's something that's added, it's not that it's something synthetic that's added to the cheese to make you have an addiction to it, to make you buy more. No, this is just something that is natural, but in retrospect, when you think about it, it's something that biology and nature's way of having the milk in a cow be addictive, so that the baby calf keeps coming back to it. It keeps growing.
Yeah.
The same way that a baby human would want to breastfeed and wants that nutrients from its mother's milk.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So that's why. That's the whole point.
I know a lot of people kind of already know this, but we are the only mammals that drink another mammal's milk. Just to...
I mean, but really think about that. It's
weird.
really crazy when you think about it. That we are the only species that drinks another species' breast milk. It's not milk. Milk is purely breast milk. Any milk that you get from anything,
comes from a nipple.
It comes from a nipple. It comes from a female mammal. It's breast milk. It is breast milk.
I think some would argue, though, that, you know, we are humans. We are capable of getting milk from another source. You know, cows don't have the type of brain functions that we do to, you know, get milk from somewhere else, but that's just another reason where we're using our powers.
Yes, exactly. You hit that.
Exactly.
Right on the nail.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just another way. I mean, when you really think about it, it's not natural. If it was natural, we would be sucking the milk out of an actual cow's udder and thinking that that's normal. But it's not.
It's done
We're
for
a goat.
us.
We're a goat.
We don't see the process behind it, so we're just like, okay, it's there. Let's just drink it.
Yeah. Well,
easy.
speaking of the process, I mean, we have to put it out there. You know, we hate to be harsh and we hate to be real, but this is the whole point of this podcast, is to shed a light.
Yes.
And the dairy industry is not as nice as it would be. And let me tell you, I get so upset
I know.
Or even just very frustrated when you see these commercials and they really try and brainwash you to think that these cows
happy
are on this beautiful green field and they have their babies and they're just milking the cows every once in a while and they're able to provide you the milk and the baby calf the milk and the cow is happy just running around in a field.
Unfortunately, that's not the case at all.
That's not the case. Okay, we have reached a point where what's the population in America right now? We have like over 7 billion people. Sure. Okay, well, quadruple that times is the amount of cows that we have, because it's now becoming unsustainable really to provide this much milk for all of these humans.
But what do they do to achieve that, Jenny? Shed some light.
All right. Well,
because typically for a female mammal to be able to produce milk, they have to be pregnant.
Right, exactly.
Correct?
So think about us as humans, as a female Homo sapien, we have to get pregnant in order for our breast to produce breast milk. It's the same exact thing for every mammal out there. So a cow has to be impregnated in order to produce the milk.
And how do they do that?
They artificially inseminate semen into all of the female cows. They actually call it a rape rack. Okay. And they have them on a rape rack, and they have a person who has this tube.
Like metal rod or something?
It's like a metal rod of semen, and they have to shove their entire fist up with this rod and artificially inseminate the cow with the semen. Oh, how do they get the semen is disgusting too, and it's exactly what you might think. It's disgusting. Yeah. They legitimately need to jack off. They need to jack off the male cow, the bull.
They do.
And that's how they get it. It's
and is disgusting. It done like multiple times to the same cow? Is that how their udders get infected, or right?
Yes. It is. So it's done multiple times, and it's a very messy process because there's so many cows. It needs to be done quickly. There's we need to get them through. It's more bang for your buck. Just get it done. So it's not necessarily regulated 100% to where it's super safe, but it gets the job done. And then what happens is the cow gets pregnant, and goes through. I think cows have their babies for longer than humans. I think it's more than 9 months. I believe it's like 10 or 11 months that they need to carry the baby calf.
What do you mean?
Like carrying the carrying the actual calf when they're pregnant, before birth. Correct.
Right. Okay.
So they spend all this time with their baby calf, and I mean, if there's any mothers out there and you think about the time that you spent carrying your child, I haven't, and I personally don't have this experience, but I know from what my mom has told me, it's a very intimate experience.
Yes.
Carrying and growing a living being inside your body. And so what happens is the cow does this just the same as we do, and they give birth, but the calf cannot drink the cow's milk.
Within minutes,
the calf is taken away from the mom, and it's a very terrible process to watch. And it's very sad. A mother cries out for the baby's crying out for the mom, but there's no milk to waste, guys. There's no milk to waste. This milk needs to go for humans. This is not supposed to go for the baby calf. So baby calf is taken. If it's a male calf, it's taken to a veal farm, and it is locked away in a little tiny cage so that it doesn't grow, and he will be killed for veal. Mm-hmm. It's for veal meat. And if it's a female cow, they are then raised to also bear the same fate that their mother did. Yeah, which is really become a female cow.
Yeah, that's very sad when you put it that way. I don't think I'll be eating cheese this weekend.
Yeah. No, but really, how do you feel?
Tell us how you feel, Erica.
I do feel very, very sad about it when I hear it all explained. And, I've watched videos and I've watched documentaries about it, but part of me wants to remain ignorant
Yeah.
And
It's always easier
just
to
block
remain
that
ignorant.
out. But
Yeah.
it's
I've
definitely hard to
yes, it's hard.
It's hard, and you know that's why when the term comes up, I never really truly understood this term until I actually went vegan. The term that ignorance is bliss, because it really is that, you know, it is bliss when you're ignorant about it. But the fact of the matter is, you have two options: you remain ignorant and contribute to the horror of it, or you just stop
Try to
eating
make a
cheese.
difference.
Like,
Now, would you girls feel differently if things were done in a humane way? Or would you still feel the same way about it?
I mean, at the end of the day, though, I feel like the baby calf is still going to be taken away from the mother. And,
yeah, I don't see any
if
way
it
of
wasn't that
making
way.
it.
Yeah. I just don't think that's feasible.
I don't think there's any way to make it humane.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to share it. And this goes back to what we were saying earlier, is that we are the only humans that drinks another and uses another species' breast milk. It doesn't make sense. And the fact of the matter is that there are cheese alternatives.
That's what I was just about to get to.
So
Let's talk a
true.
little bit about our experience, because, I mean, you used to eat cheese. I used to eat cheese. My sister used to eat cheese. She was obsessed. Like, she was addicted too, like,
Yeah.
because it's addictive.
Yeah.
Like, she would literally, we called her like a little mouse because she loved cheese so much. But there are so many alternatives now, guys, and we can mention a few that are our favorites that literally taste amazing and very, very similar.
yeah, cheers.
Ciao.
Ciao. No, but it-
CHAO.
yeah.
And then follow your
Ciao.
heart is a really good alternative.
Follow your heart. And mind you, these are all sold in Publix and Walmart.
And Whole Foods.
There's also, if you are here in Miami or South Florida, there is I guess it's a deli called Atlas Meats, and they make a vegan cheese that's phenomenal. I honestly think it's the best vegan cheese out there.
BioLife is really good too. They sell
Yeah.
that at Parlor. It's a little bit more, pricey.
So,
But
let me tell you, and I've had my boyfriend try the cheeses, and yes, he's not 100% bottom. He's like, oh no, it's
not the
it's
same.
not the same. It's not the same. And of course, it's not the same. It gets a job done as cheese. And honestly, I think it's kind of like an acquired taste where you really do start to like it and actually start to crave it. Maybe it has its own type of quesomorphins in it.
Seriously though,
I don't know, because
I
I'm
cannot live without my vegan cheese.
I have to have it on every sandwich that I make. But the point, and when you go back to like our experience of it, it was very difficult. That was the hardest part, and I think it will be the hardest part for anyone to
Definitely.
really go, transition. I mean,
That's the main reason why I don't call myself vegan. It's because I eat cheese and I eat chocolate. And honestly, like, I feel addicted to these things.
Yeah.
And my question is like, all this information is out there for us, but I still see so much propaganda for dairy, for cheese. Like, why is that? I see so many commercials. There's like so many things
billion-dollar
on the
industry.
internet.
So
they're a billion-dollar
always-
industry, the dairy industry.
They're cutting. They're lacking in sales. Like a lot of.
Well, I think they're
companies,
getting scared.
They're very scared. Their sales are declining 100%, and they are some big cheese companies or even like yogurt companies and things like that are
This is the beginning of the vegan.
a revolution. Yeah, it's a revolution.
But Jenny, why, like, on the My Plate, dairy is still a big
Well, remember we
portion.
talked about this. I remember you wanted to talk about this in our last podcast. This is our conspiracy theory. This is our conspiracy theory segment. Let's go back to it, because I did get a lot of questions on this. When I mentioned that on our USDA My Plates, which is the plates, you can find it on USDA.gov.
Which used to be the pyramid. For
Used to
those
be
that
the-
don't know,
yes.
I had no idea the pyramid actually changed to a plate.
Oh, yeah.
A circular
Okay,
plate.
yes. I'm sorry. Like, Theo and I, as registered dietitian students, like, we have engraved in my plate, my plate,
For,
my plate
for
all the time.
us regular people like myself,
Does the
Okay.
the
pyramid,
pyramid
still
is
exist?
now a plate, guys.
The pyramid has
Let it
turned
go.
into a plate. Okay, this is what it is now. It's a plate, and it just is very simple, and it's just outlines your plate of what you should be putting on it. And the plate has fruits, vegetables, protein. What was that one? Greens.
Grains. And then on the side.
And on the side, it has a cup of dairy. Now, our theory is that the My Plate is supposed to be made up of just the macronutrients. Our macronutrients are our carbohydrates, which is fruits and vegetables. That's the only source of carbohydrates. Our grains, which is our other macronutrient, and then our protein. But it's kind of funny how the protein itself
is not enough.
The protein is not labeled meat.
Right, it's not.
The protein is not labeled vegan meat. It just says protein. But the dairy is, it's just labeled dairy, and it's just a cup off to the side, which is pretty weird. That
who has really, milk with their meal?
Seriously, who drinks milk with their dinner?
No, that's just gross.
Like a glass of milk with their dinner, which
unless
now
we
know is
cereal for dinner.
True.
That's really it. But remember, guys, you are drinking pus as well. Let's just throw
that out there. Getting back on the subject.
But seriously, it's kind of weird. Why is it that dairy is just its own little cup on the side? And it doesn't make sense. Okay, we all know, and the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics has even confirmed that dairy can be sourced from alternative dairy sources. Now, the alternative dairy sources like almond milk and cashew milk and things like that aren't considered dairy because they're plant-based. So they're it's plant protein. It's not dairy. Dairy is only what comes from cows. So that's another thing. Why is it that dairy has to be a part of our diet when now we have over 1.8 billion of us plant-based people out there that are living proof that you do not need dairy in your diet to live a healthy life. In fact, it kind of maybe sort of will be the opposite.
Definitely.
That's the thing. What do you think, Erica? Does that make more sense now?
I don't think it's the opposite. I think at the end of the day, there's a balance for everything.
Everything in moderation.
Everything in moderation.
That is what we learn.
Exactly.
That is what is engraved in our brains as registered dietitian students.
It's not easy being vegan and non-vegan.
But I do think that it is a little weird that dairy has its own little place on the My Plate. Ugh.
It just seems sketchy.
It's just, studies have shown, yes, dairy is known to have calcium and this and that, but then it's still causing people to have,
it increases their
arthritis
and LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol.
Exactly.
It's been not directly, but indirectly correlated to cardiovascular diseases and is increased with a higher risk of cardiovascular disease.
Just to me, personally, it makes no sense how, it's promoted as having calcium, making our bones strong, because that is the major advertisement strategy used. But then people who drink dairy have really weak bones, and this happens with time. It's not maybe
it's not something that happens overnight. Definitely not.
It's usually for an older adult who, sometimes gets diagnosed with arthritis.
Osteoporosis.
Osteoporosis. So it just makes no sense. Why are these people who consume dairy getting these diseases?
Well, it also might be an overconsumption of it that's now having a negative effect on our bones.
Yes.
Because remember, if you drink too much, remember that there is only a certain level that you need of these certain nutrients. And if you're drinking milk, if you're eating cheese, if you're having yogurt for your snack all the time, that is an overabundance of calcium in your diet, and that's not good.
Too much is
too much is no bueno. You definitely want to make sure that you are really reaching the right amounts, and that also
goes for everything.
That goes for everything, and protein is really a big one too.
Yeah, which we touched on.
Which we touched on the last podcast. That many people and many Americans nowadays we eat too much protein, and they can have negative effects. So I think that's where that comes into play, where there's dairy in everything now, and because there's such an overconsumption of these dairy products, it's now having a negative effect on our health.
Definitely.
So it comes back to everything in moderation, guys.
Dairy should definitely be a complement to your meal and not the main
aspect
not
of it.
the main aspect.
100%, yeah.
But if you are trying to transition and slowly eliminate it, then I definitely recommend trying some alternatives, because some have just as good as a taste. You know, it, in my opinion, it did take a while. Like Daya, for example, like I don't personally love. We're not a big fan of it. But Chow and Follow Your Heart, So Delicious just came out with like shredded, like Mexican style for like pizza, mozzarella. Yes,
Wow.
it's so good. It's,
Yeah.
what? Yes, girl.
I'm definitely gonna branch out and
try new things.
Try new things.
Try it out.
And you know, if you were if you didn't know about the dairy industry and how these cows are treated, I feel like there's always two reasons why someone wants to quit eating cheese. And it's either because, you know, for your health reasons, or if you want to, like, you know, maybe you have acne problems or a hormonal issue where you just feel like you're kind of imbalanced in that, then yes, definitely try switching. Try cutting out dairy a little bit and see how you feel. See how it feels, and let us know how you feel. We would love to know. Please. Remember, just email us or from bacontobeans@gmail.com, or on Instagram or on Facebook, and send us a message from Bacon to Beans. And also, the other reason would be for ethical reasons. You know, if you want to start trying to, you know, not contribute to the dairy industry, and you feel bad for these cows because, you know, you feel for them and you're feeling empathetic and compassionate, then definitely and feel free again to reach out, and we're here to help you guys, and we're here to just shed a light and bring about the truth and kind of make it make sense.
Yes.
And I hope we're doing that.
Yeah. We hope we answered all your questions, and if you have any more questions, again, just reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you.
Yes, so our Instagram is @FromBaconToBeans. Also our Facebook, From Bacon to Beans.
All of our social media is From Bacon to
From
Beans.
Bacon to Beans!
We want to hear from you guys.
Show us some love, show us some support, give us some feedback. We want to hear from you guys.
We want to help you
make this easy.
We want to make it the easiest transition possible for you guys. We know it was hard for us. It was very difficult for us to transition over and to do it by ourselves, and we want to make it different. We want to be here for you guys and help
so you know all the tips and tricks that you need to make it a smooth transition.
Definitely. And definitely follow us on social media so that you can stay up to date with our day-to-day little life activities.
Yes, we love putting little
quick tips.
breakfast ideas. Erica so kindly did
the
for
cutest.
us.
Okay,
So
let's just
nice.
mention we're all cute. Also, we need to do birthday shout outs. So it was both. Erica's birthday was on June 29th, and Theo's was just on July 4th. Yes. So birthday shout outs to my two babes.
Thank you.
We love you.
Sissy.
Thank you very much.
Very
Love
much.
you.
Cancer is real.
Apparently, I'm only friends with cancers. So. All right, guys. Well, thanks
so much.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time. I think our next podcast, we're gonna break down to our next barrier. Maybe even talk a little bit more about protein, because I know our first podcast was a little short on that. So hopefully we'll do a little more digesting on that for you guys, and maybe talk about cooking. I think that was another one.
Yeah, we definitely want to touch into the lifestyle, because veganism is more than just a diet. It's definitely a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, and we want you guys to join our lifestyle.
Feel amazing and look great while doing it.
Come join us.
Hey. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks for listening.
See you next time on From Bacon to Beans.
Visualize it. I'll give it something to do.